The biggest challenges for women and finances, it's a really interesting question. I mean, I think if I think about my own experiences and the observations that I've made with my friends and my mum's friends and a lot of the women in my friends' lives, is that one, they haven't necessarily not had the interest in really sitting down and planning for their financial future. Two, they haven't really had the resources to be able to find out what are the best questions to ask for what their superannuation actually means. And then finally, the last one I think is they've left it entirely to their partner.
We all had a Commonwealth bank account when we were kids at school, but it didn't get much further than that in terms of learning.
There's a lot of jargon in the financial industry which makes it just harder for people to understand what certain concepts are.
We talk about people's physical health, this is their financial health. And if you've got a fair bit of knowledge about your own financial health, then you're able to look after yourself.
I think it's really all about that having sufficient income in your retirement, because I think when women take time out of the workforce to care for children or loved ones, their superannuation is impacted. So I think that's one of the biggest things that financial equality can help with, is ensuring women do get to a comfortable state in retirement. Women tend to be more risk averse than men.
Coupled with a lack of understanding of financial matters and information in the marketplace, those two things tend to inherently hold them back.
And what that can mean is that they're piling a lot of their savings into cash. As inflation comes into it, then the cash that they've been holding for so long might not be worth as much as it was when they started saving for it. So ultimately, they're not reaching their financial goals.
Well, people enter into relationships hopefully to stay together, and increasingly we see that finances are one of the reasons that we do see breakdown in family homes. It's both people being on an equal footing that makes the difference.
Women are making up a huge part of a household's income, and for them to be able to understand where that money is going, to have control over the risk that they're taking, so that they can make better decisions for their family, or even just for themselves, to have the independence to be able to do that. I think that's vital. Minimising
the wealth gap starts with us having equal pay for equal work, and you've seen over the years that there's been a lot of campaigning that has addressed most of that. But in terms of the wealth gap from investments, it's addressing the risk gap, it's the perception of risk. Inherently, men take more risk than women in their investments. Women are starting to catch up with the thinking around that and know when and when not to actually engage in the more risky activities and the returns that are involved.
There's actually a lot of good initiatives out there now. Money Smart website has excellent resources. I know we here at Perpetual, we've got a great microsite for women in finance. So there is accessibility out there, but it's really about going out and searching for it and putting a plan in place with your budgeting plan. The biggest tip is to start investing now if you haven't already started. And the main reason for that is if you start early, then the effects of compounding are going to kick in, and it's the greatest force on earth, and it should be taken advantage of straight away.